All of a sudden, something crosses the road. It was kind of like a laughing, but like screaming noise, and it kind of just like echoed. Stands up, and then it like kind of just almost like leaps into the desert. It's very like skeletal-like, fleshy. I've never felt so much fear in my life because I have no idea what that was.
Look at the new hat.
Ooh, look at that.
Welcome to another episode of the Exploring Renee. I'm Luke,
I'm Dustin.
and we're the host with the most gifts.
That's right.
Today we talked to Caitlin, and she had some pretty crazy experiences with the Skinwalker. She thinks it was, which I think it was a Skinwalker.
It definitely sounds like it.
Once you hear the experience when it crosses the road, you'll be like, yeah, I think that's a Skinwalker.
Yeah. The gifting is weird, though.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of that with a Skinwalker.
Mm-mm. Bigfoot, I had gift number Skinwalker. We'll have to maybe do a little bit more research with that.
Yeah. And I think that we should look more into the Sabe. Was it Sabe? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. See,
I've never heard of that before.
neither have I.
This is a really good conversation. I enjoyed talking to Caitlin, and I hope that maybe we can't get her mom on and talk about the lights, the Phoenix lights. Yeah. That would be, dude, that would be cool because that was a big event that had happened.
I don't remember Phoenix lights, so I'll have to look it up.
Oh, dude, yeah, definitely look into that because it was a big event that had happened. Like there was these lights that appeared on like the above the mountains or above the horizon or something like that. But like, yeah, it was wild.
And when you want to hop into this episode?
Absolutely, let's jump right into it. Hello.
How are you guys?
Hey,
How are you?
Good. Oh, let me just fix this lighting real quick. I'm trying to think. I've never been on a podcast before, so this is kind of exciting.
So how you doing today?
I'm good, just getting ready for the week, I guess. It's a Monday, so
Yeah,
it is what it is.
the hardest day of the week.
It really is. That and like a Tuesday or something, or like a Thursday, because it's about to be the end of the week, but you still got to get through 2 more days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Um. Yeah. Where do you work, if you don't mind me asking?
I work I'm a preschool teacher.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So.
We work at a school as well.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There. What do you guys do?
We're custodians, so we clean up at the end of the day.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So disgusting. Oh my goodness.
It has its moments.
We have like a little private one house school that I teach at. It's like a Montessori one. So we're the ones cleaning up. Like if a kid throws up, if we're like plumbers at the same time, we're cooks, we do all of it. So
Oh man.
yeah.
You got a lot to put down on your resume then.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, tell us a little bit about your experience. What happened?
So I think it was like the week of Valentine's Day. We live close to Tonto National Forest. Like we like border it kind of in Phoenix. And my boyfriend and I went out. We've been out there so many times. It's beautiful. Like even at night, go like look at the stars. There's a whole bunch of like wildlife there. But we were there in like a parking lot for like a hiking trail. It was at dusk, so it was like 6 or 7 o'clock. And it got dark pretty fast because it's February. And we were standing there and we heard like a noise. And it wasn't like I've heard like mountain lions, bobcats, coyotes. I've heard all of it. Like we live next to a wash. So like we hear all of it. And this one was kind of different. I feel like it was definitely I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It was just really creepy. It left me with an eerie feeling. It was kind of like a laughing, but like screaming noise, and it kind of just like echoed throughout like us
Mhm.
because we're all surrounded by like trees and like cactuses, like the desert and everything. So we kind of looked at each other and we're like, oh, okay, we're gonna go now. It was definitely like oh yeah, let's go home because we don't want to figure out what that is either. If it's something we don't know what it is, or if it's a mountain lion or something. But it was definitely creepy. And ever since then, like like when we're leaving, we're driving off. Um, of course, my boyfriend decides to like a burnout on the road because it's like a straight road, and he just got a Mustang. So he's like, "Watch this," and I'm like, "Oh God!" And I'm like, "That probably like pissed something off." So I was like, "Oh shit, okay." And I when I got home, he was like totally normal. He's not really like completely into that stuff. I think he more likes to ignore whatever he thinks that is because yeah, he's not really into it. I'm more like in tune with that stuff. I feel like I've always been like my mom's told me that, like my entire family has. Like weird stuff always like happens to me. But when we were driving back, like I had a heavy chest, and like for the next 2 weeks we were getting like little sticks tied in like dead vines or like
Hmm.
dead pine needles like on our patio. Um like all like my seashells and like crystals were like knocked off. And I was like, "Ugh, okay, that's weird." And I was like, it's happened to me before where like some of that stuff has happened. So I kind
Mhm.
of ignore it. Nothing's like ever escalated to that. Like I've had like stuff knocked off. I've had um like the circles like of the mushrooms around me before.
Oh wow.
So like all ever since like I was a kid, that stuff's always like kind of been like happening.
Mhm.
But the freaky part was when last week there was 3 dead rats on our patio and there was no blood. And we've gotten rats on our patio before from like owls dropping it or like birds.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And like I've seen them all over the street before because it's the desert. And there's like always blood and it's like really gross. This was more they're like laying on their side, they're facing the left, and they're right in front of like our doormat. And the like entrails, like their guts are hanging out, but it like looks like it's cleaned.
Oh.
Like, it's, like, cut down the middle. I should've taken a picture, but my first instinct was like, "Oh, holy shit, like, I don't know what this is," and my dog almost tried to eat them, and I was, like, freaking out. I had to, like, grab a trash bag and, like, a broom
Mhm.
and throw them into the wash because I didn't want them in the trash can either because like, animals would get into it.
Hmm.
Um, so, like, that happened, um for, like, those weeks, my dog, he doesn't bark or anything. He barked, like, a few times, but most of the time, he would come upstairs because he likes to sleep on the couch without
Mhm.
us knowing, he thinks. But he'll come upstairs, and he, like, would stare at me, and it was always, like, around, like, 3 a.m., and he would stare at me, and I'm like, "What do you need?" And then he'd go run downstairs, and then he'd come back up and stare at me like there's something down there he wanted to show me.
Mhm.
I never really went because I was like, "Okay, that's weird. I'm not going down there." That's how every, like, horror movie starts out, and
Yeah.
I'm be like the stupid white person to go downstairs. Like, whatever. And so that happened. Nothing's really happened since. I saged it. I did, like, the black lava salt my mom sent me. I did, like, the whole perimeter of, like, our condo.
Hmm.
Um, I did, like I put out other crystals and, like, stuff like that, but nothing's happened since, but that was, like, the super weird experience. Um, I finally told my boyfriend about it, and he was like, "Oh, wait, what?" And I was like because I don't wanna freak him out,
Yeah.
and it was like, "Okay, well, there's, like, dead rats on our patio now." And he was like, "Oh, okay, that's a little freaky," so that's when we did that. I told him, I was like he's Catholic, so I was like, "You should do, like, the holy water cross on a door. Maybe that'll help." Like, someone on Reddit told me that because, yeah, you guys saw my post and everything.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of people commented things I can do. A lot of other people commented that, and should get off the internet, and I'm like, a schizo. And I was like, oh, okay.
People on the
But
internet can be mean sometimes.
yeah, oh, but yeah, so that happened, and we haven't seen anything since. I haven't felt like a weird presence, so hopefully whatever that was gone.
Hmm.
I didn't do like too much research into it because I was like, I don't want to freak myself out. People are like, don't get scared of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like those things can feed off of fear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. If I get more rats, I'm gonna try and move. I don't want any more rats on my patio.
So they were like like cut open, like somebody had like.
Like almost like gutted them and like took them out, but like there was like no blood, which was weird because like I again like I've seen the rats, like the dead ones, and there's like it's gross. There's blood. You
Mhm.
can't like it's just really like mangy. Like they're just like out. Like
Yeah.
the everything in them. But like these were like the intestines were laid out. You can see them, but there was like no blood whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I was
Were
like,
they like laying on the porch in any kind of way, or were they just kind of scattered about
no, they were all laying next to each other. There was three next to each other.
like
And
in
they
a
were
line?
around like my doors, like doormat.
Oh wow, that's
So,
freaky.
and
Yeah, I
I was
guess.
like, oh, because my boyfriend goes to work super early, and I was like, did you even see them? Like, did you step over them? Like, sometimes he's not fully aware of his spatial awareness, I guess. And he was like, I didn't see anything because I texted him after, and I was like, well, there was three on our patio, and it was super gross, but I don't know
Wow.
what that means. And it's like we don't really have any like enemies, so not that I know of. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's wild. Um, since has your boyfriend had any other experiences with this, or how's he feeling about it?
No, he's never had any of like that. He's had, I guess, like a few like paranormal, like weird stuff happen to him. Like
Hmm.
once, I think, at like a friend's apartment. But we live in a really old town. Like there's a lot, like we practically live in like a semi-retirement community. So there's like dead people, like, people dying all the time here. They're
Yeah.
like really old. And so, but he's never dealt with like this before. He would go like as like a teenager and like even like in his like earlier 20s, he would go out to like the desert with his friends and pretend to go like skinwalker searching like as a joke.
Hmm.
And like one time they got like all freaked out because like when they went into like a like more remote part of the desert, it got really freaky for them.
Hmm.
um and I like think one time he was like on a little like motorbike at night with his friends in the desert, and he remembers saying he saw something that was really tall and like a dark figure, but he didn't know if it was like a saguaro or like his mind was playing tricks on him. But he's like never really messed with that stuff. He's like very cautious when it comes to that because he's like, I'd rather respect it than something like get pissed off at me,
Yeah,
until he did the burnout on the road, and maybe that's when he followed us.
that's possible.
It totally could be. I don't know. It was a little weird because I've had like encounters like in the desert, like driving through. You see something kind of cross the road, and it's not a mountain lion. It's something a little more human like, but like 10 feet tall.
Hmm.
Um, but I've never like heard anything like that before.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really creepy. I don't know. I might reach out to like since we like live next to the reservation, I might reach out to some people on there who said they like know some things.
Hmm.
Just to make sure
Hmm.
because yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine going through that, especially like waking up and seeing the rats on the patio. Like I'd feel like something was watching me and kind of keeping tabs on me.
Yeah, I definitely our windows have been locked for the past like month now. Blinds have not been open at night. Usually we sleep with windows open because it's so hot here in Arizona. Um, but no, we close everything. I lined everything with like the black lava salt. I seashells everywhere, crystals everywhere, kind of like a crazy lady. Our house looks a little weird right now because of it, but I don't really
Hey,
want to take the chances.
hey, I dig it.
Yeah.
I heard the crystal theory. What's with seashells? What's the
I
seashells
was
supposed to do?
told, like seashells are like a form of like a neutral protection for everything. I also really like them, so I feel like if, you put your energy into something you really enjoy and, like, maybe think that'll protect you, it will. I found, like, all mine are, like, from the beach on, like, vacations, like, as a kid, so I've always had them in, like, the family. So I just put those everywhere just in case, just to see. But, yeah, definitely one of more of the freaky encounters I've had, because like, I've had, like, little things given to me, like, before that I don't accept just in case. I used to have, like, the mushroom circles, like, when I take my dog for a walk, we go kinda near, like, this grassy area, and, like, every time we go, usually there's, like, a circle there, so we kinda stay away from that. Um, but yeah.
I've heard mushroom circle stories before. I think a lot of them are like they say that they're related to the fae, like fairies and things like that.
Yeah, and I didn't know, like, a lot about it, I just growing up, my mother told me not to go near them. That's all I
Yeah,
remember. It's like, it's not a good thing, it's not, like, something you should be messing with, so I've never really looked into
yeah,
it. I just my mother saying that I shouldn't do it.
yeah. It's interesting to hear what past generations have to say about those kinds of things. It's like they've had experiences with them, or the information that was passed down to them
Yeah,
is more real than what we seem to believe.
100%. So, yeah, my mom's really into all that stuff, and so she kinda tells my sister and I, "Hey, don't do this, but you can do this. Don't accept
Yeah,
this." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
that's really cool. She's looking out for you.
Yeah, 100%. So oh, hi, my dog. Um, have you guys, like, ever experienced anything like that, or
I've never witnessed that. I had a scream in my life at my old house, but I think there's something more paranormal than
okay.
like a skinwalker.
Yeah, I've never had any experiences with what I thought might have been a skinwalker or anything like that.
Yeah.
More paranormal related experiences.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
fiance had a dream about a skinwalker.
I've had a few. Definitely, like, in the past month, I've had, like, 2 of them where,
Mhm.
like, it comes, like, in the house and, like, kills, like, the entire place, but, like, I think it's just, like, a dream of, like, my anxiety. I
That's awesome.
haven't really put it to, like, power of, like, "Oh my god, now I'm freaked out,"
Mhm.
because I do definitely have anxiety about, like, everything in my life, so it's like, this is one thing I can't let, like, take over, like, my thoughts and everything,
Mhm.
because I know, like, my sister and I've had it. At my parent When we lived at my parents' house, we used to have dreams about, like, a lady coming to, like and, like, watch us while we sleep, like, this, like, really gross, like, old lady, and, we never realized we were having the same dreams until, like, maybe, like, 2 years ago when we all moved out and we were, like, talking about it, my sister, like, "Remember this and this?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I had the same exact dreams." Like, we used to have the same, like, people come in our dreams.
Mm.
Like, there's, like, the tall guy in the corner of the room, like, in our bedroom, and he's all black, and you can't see his face, but he'd watch you. Like, we've had those same dreams before, so that's kind of like our paranormal thing, like, in our house. I don't know, my parents' house has been weird. I used to have a dream where, like, in high school, I was sleeping, and I used to get bad sleep paralysis at that house. Like, almost every night, I couldn't like, I would wake up, but couldn't move. And I remember one night I was laying, like, flat in bed, and, like, this, like, girl was like hovering over me, and she was like dripping water on me. And then all of a sudden she took her hands, she scratched my legs. And I woke up and I like went back to bed because I was like, that was a weird ass dream. And so I go back to bed, I wake up, my bed is still wet. Now it could have been from sweat or something, but I mean that those blankets were like wet and cold. And then my legs were all scratched up, like just like it looked like three lines down my shins.
Oh wow.
So that always happened. Like that stuff always happened. Like in my parents' house with my sister and I, and
Mhm.
there always be like different rooms for like different like people like in our dreams, which is
Yeah.
so I don't really
That's
And,
interesting.
know.
and you know any history on the house? Is there?
No, it was built like in 90 something, and we were
Mhm.
like the second owners, and the lady just moved because I don't know why. I think it
Maybe
was
that's why.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Maybe she didn't tell us something because I was like 1 years old when I moved into that house with my parents, and then my sister was born in 2003. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like no like creepy history. I know my grandma's like when we moved in, I think she blessed that house. She's blessed every house our family's moved into, like
Mhm.
everybody in our family, I think. Um, I'm pretty sure, but she blessed our house. I remember that before we like when we moved in there in 2001, I think 2002. Um, but yeah, weird stuff like that. It's just I don't know how to explain it. And I try to explain it to like my boyfriend because he's never really dealt with that. Um, until like a few years ago, he was at his friend's house and they heard like weird knocking noise, but they don't have neighbors in their apartment. There's just like them and they're like their or condo kind of. And like that was super weird. But that's like the only thing he like considers like a paranormal experience.
Mhm.
But I was like, I've had so many, I feel like. So I was like, I'll tell you all about like I've told him all about them and everything. I was like, yeah. And he's like, wait, what? This happens to people? I'm like, I guess. So yeah.
Now you said that you had like crystals and shells and stuff getting knocked off like the shelf or wherever they're sitting. That's inside the house?
No, that's all outside. Nothing's
Oh,
happened
okay.
inside. Thank goodness. But I have like tourmaline. I got some quartz out there.
Mhm.
It's just like on the wall of the patio. But it's like sometimes like the shells get knocked down like 'cause the like wind.
Yeah.
Um, but like my heavy quartz that are like this big were like rolled down like outside the patio, not inside. So if it looked like someone like pushed it.
Oh.
And I was like, "Okay, well, maybe it could be, like, some kid, I don't know, but we don't really have any kids here,
Mhm.
and
Hmm.
if they open, like, our gate squeaks, so, like, you would hear someone come in, and both of us are pretty light sleepers, so I feel like we would have heard something,
Mhm.
but I've had them up for, like it's been, like, almost 2 years since we've lived here, and, like, no one's ever, like, messed with our stuff, um, yeah, so I don't know what it was. That's why I was like, "Oh, that's kinda weird," and then, like the little gifts they were leaving me showed up,
Yeah.
and I kind of just I burned a few of them, and then someone told me just to sweep them, just not to touch them. I always knew that, never to touch anything that they give you.
Yeah.
So I kind of swept them away, and they blew away with the wind because they were
Yeah.
like this big. They were like nothing bigger than this.
Do you have
And
any
they,
pictures of them?
no, I don't want that on my phone. I don't keep anything on my phone.
Okay. I
Like
don't blame you.
something's gonna like come through the screen. I don't know. I don't trust. I hate messing with that stuff. I was like, "Ooh." But they were, like, just tiny, and they're tied, like, in little knots, like, together, but they were,
Mhm.
like X's, like this.
Oh.
So I was
So it
like,
was like
"Ooh."
something it wasn't like something natural that happened. This like
No, it was something like someone made it, like, something, like, tied it together, they got little sticks and took the dead vines from, like, the wash and, did a little arts and craft thing and put it on my patio.
that's wild.
Yeah, and I've had it a few times, like, living in my parents' house, I would get, like, sometimes things, like, on my windowsill.
Mhm.
I would never, like, bother with it because it's like, okay, whatever." And, like, that happened, so when it happened here, I was like, "Okay, whatever." it's not that big of a deal. I'll burn it, sweep it off, go into the desert, and then but the rats came. So
Yeah.
that was super freaky.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I've heard, I've never heard of like Skinwalker gifting. I've heard like Sasquatch gifting and Bigfoot leaving gifts and stuff like that. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
then
guess.
I don't know even know if it was a skinwalker, if something else. Something. Oh, let me see. I want to try and find it. Someone said on Reddit. So I had no time this weekend to look it up, but it was called a sabe. They're
Say,
like, oh, they're like, very. Like she said, very kid-like in a sense, and they give you gifts and they like to mess with you, but they like mean no harm. And
oh,
then
okay.
I let me see. Um,
I'll try to look it up now.
sabe.
How do you spell it? Like Sabe?
Yeah. She was, like, commenting, like, on everybody's, like, replies about how it wasn't, like, skinwalkers and it was, like, a save and that I don't know, let me see
Oh,
something.
this is interesting. Um, uh, wait, hold on a second. Sacred teaching is represented by an animal, offering a special understanding of how we as people should live our lives on Mother Earth. The boy is visited by the spirit of the giant Geechee Sabe, more commonly known as Bigfoot or Sasquatch. The
Oh,
Sabe teaches us about the law of honesty.
That's interesting.
It could be talking about something else, though, too.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, you said you saw like a 10-foot creature on a crossroad. Do you know what? You said it was human. Like, did you get any more details, or was it just that
Yeah,
quick?
um, it was in high school, I was driving back from a party, I was, like, the designated driver, of course. I was driving back from a party with my friend, and, we were it was, like, midnight maybe, and it's a very, like it's called Dynamite, so it's, like, this really long stretch of road right through, like, Cave Creek, Arizona, and, it's all desert. Like,
Mhm.
there's some horse ranches, but it's just all desert. There's no lights on the road. You gotta turn your brights on to see everything, and we were driving, and I remember, like, I got kinda sick, and then all of a sudden, something crosses the road, and it's very, like, skeletal-like, fleshy, and he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "I have no idea." And it crosses and it stands up and then it like kind of just almost like leaps into the desert. And he's like, "Well, what happens if like it's someone that's hurt?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not here to find out." And I kind of just kinda, like I don't mess with any of that stuff. But we sat there in silence, like, what the hell was that? Because in our high school brains, we're like, "Oh, okay." We're terrified now
Yeah.
because I I don't know, and I don't know what he believes in and all that stuff, but we like I remember like graduation after that because I was like in like I guess like in the fall, and when we graduated, I was like, "Do you remember that?" And he's like, "I never want to talk about it again." Like he's like, "I've never felt so much fear in my life because I have no idea what that was." Because I was
Oh,
like, it
wow.
definitely wasn't a mountain lion. It wasn't a coyote, unless it's some weirdo and who's abnormally tall, naked in desert, which I think I'd rather happen than anything else.
I don't
Um,
know. Sometimes that might be even more
yeah,
scary.
sometimes, yeah, it's happened before. It's been on the news, but it's like we were like, oh, like what? It was very like fast,
Mhm.
and it never like we never saw its face. Thank God, because I think that would haunt me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But um, but like that's like yeah, that's just like shoop, and then I was like, oh, okay, that was scary. And he's never talked about it again. We're not really in contact anymore. So, but yeah, it was just kind of creepy, especially like at night. And he was definitely drinking, but like sober me was like, oh, holy shit, what is that? What is that? We gotta drive faster.
I don't
Um,
blame you at all. I'd probably do the same thing.
yeah. But it was definitely weird. I don't know what yeah, I don't know how to explain that because I've never, like, heard well, maybe it's happened. I've never really heard of them, like, crossing the road in front of a car. I was like, "That's kinda weird." I've, heard stories about people hearing them or, um, like, a lot of people go missing in our, like, desert, like, national parks near here,
Mhm.
and it's not really, like, investigated. It's, like, different laws, I guess. It's,
Oh,
like, everywhere less. There's so many missing people. But, like, Joshua Tree, like, in California, like, that's, right next to us in Arizona, like, people go missing there all the time, and they never find them.
oh wow.
So, like, that, like, I would never step foot in Joshua Tree. I'm not really into
Yeah.
yeah, it's kinda creepy, so
I heard about Joshua Tree before on one of the podcasts we listened to. I think it's the Confessionals podcast. And
mhm.
there's something that has to do with the 33 um latitude and longitude. And that Joshua Tree names on that
Oh, that makes
what's
a
it
lot
called?
Mm.
That
huh,
parallel
Like
thing.
the ley lines and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
mm,
That's wild.
yeah. I've heard some weird things in Joshua Tree, so, like, stories of, like, rangers who work there, like, volunteers, and I know, like, someone was saying, they aren't allowed to go by themselves if they have to go find something or, like, do something. There's always in pairs, and you
Mm.
can't leave, like, your house at night if you, like, live on there. You're like, you don't go outside at night. You, have to stay in twos, um, and there's always, like, once in a while that call, like, "Hey, there's someone dead over here, these coordinates, you guys gotta drive over with, like, the police or something." I'm like, "What?"
That's like a regular occurrence.
I think it happens once in a while. I chalk it up to mostly, like, people are stupid and don't know how to drink enough water in the desert, because that happens a
Mm.
lot here in Arizona, like, during the summer, people will go hiking, like, on the hardest trail in, like, Phoenix on Camelback, and, like, people will pass out, and then you have to get a helicopter and, like, help them, like, rescue them. So, it's probably mostly that, but, like, there's been some weird, freaky things happening in Joshua Tree before.
Mhm.
So, I want someone to make a documentary about it so I can watch it. I don't have to go. I don't wanna go, but I'll watch it. I'll watch a movie about it or something.
Maybe we'll make a documentary about it and we'll post it on YouTube.
Yeah, you guys should. You guys should go travel there and be like, "Okay, we're here, guys. Let's investigate it." Because I don't want to. I'll let anyone else do it. I'll watch it for sure.
If we go missing, you'll know where we were.
Yeah, all those national parks are kind of freaky
Yeah.
in that sense. There's been a lot of stories about
Mhm.
things because Tonto's a national park, the one next to us. It's beautiful. I love it. We've had bonfires there. And we've had, like, nothing weird happen when we're, like, with groups of people. Like, we've had 10 people, bonfire right next to the river. We always clean up after, super respectful of the land, also because we don't like to litter. But, yeah, we've never had anything like that before until my boyfriend and I were by ourselves.
Yeah.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Have you ever heard the theory about not whistling at nighttime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't do it.
No.
I have never I'm not gonna try it. I've heard it, like, once or twice not to do it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to." I'll take your word on it.
I've heard a lot of different, I don't want to say conspiracy or theories or anything like that, because I mean, there's a lot of history behind the reason why people do these things, but I don't know. I think it's in Wisconsin, and I'm not sure that if it's a Wendigo or a Skinwalker thing, but people will put a broom, like a straw broom above
Mhm.
their doorway. Have you ever heard about that?
I haven't, no.
No. I might maybe that might be something to help you
I
out.
yeah, I was like, "Maybe I'll get one up there."
Yeah.
Huh.
Um,
I'll look into that too.
Now living out in Arizona, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of UFO sightings out there, isn't there?
Yeah, we get a lot of weird things. I don't remember what year. It was way before I was born, but, my mom, uncle, and my aunt, all the siblings on my mom's side, they saw, like, that big famous one of,
Oh,
like,
the
that
Phoenix
huge.
Lights?
Yeah, they saw the Phoenix Lights.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, and my mom describes it as, like, "Oh, either you saw it and now you're, like, really into aliens, or you saw it and you'll never talk about it again because it freaked you out, and you can't explain it, so you'd rather just not think about it," which I get,
Yeah.
'cause but, they saw that, they saw the Phoenix Lights. Um, we have oh, what's it called? We have, like, the Lost Dutchman. I don't know if you guys heard about that. It's a the like, I guess the lore is that there's, like, gold up there, and people go missing up there all the time. It's a very dangerous hike, but there's a lot of UFO action there, especially,
Mhm.
like, with the government. You can see, like, the jets training for something that we're like, "Really? Like, what are they really training for?"
Right.
Because, people have seen, like, UFOs over there, but they also do, like, the Air Force training because we have, like, Luke Air Force Base and oh, I don't know what the other one is. But we got a whole bunch of stuff with that and then the UFOs, so it kinda makes sense, I guess, to have them here.
Mhm.
So, and then Sedona is known for them too. So, like, up north,
Mhm.
they got, like, the UFO tour sighting people. I love those, but they really play into it, but there's definitely been things up there because it's a dark sky community too.
Mhm.
Um,
What's that mean?
there's no lights, like, even, like, where I live in our town, we don't have, like, lamp posts as much.
Streetlights.
Yeah, streetlights, it's dark at night, like, it's like, you're driving, it's pitch black, so you have to turn on your brights sometimes.
Oh, wow.
It's, like, really it's, like, no light pollution. We have a few of those here in Arizona.
That's really interesting. I bet that makes, a really beautiful sky at nighttime, you know?
Yeah, I really did. I love it, it's great, but,
Cool.
yeah, I haven't really encountered, like, any alien sightings, um, but, like, my mom's seen the Phoenix Lights, and, like, my aunt and uncle have again, yeah. So, but, again, something I also do not wanna mess with.
Yeah.
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 Those ones
I
kinda freak me out.
yeah, I'd like to go looking for them, but I don't know about it in Arizona. I feel like I'd be too worried about seeing a skinwalker or something.
Yeah, there's some other things you are more worried about in Arizona than the UFOs in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skinwalkers, there's other things, I guess, out there. Crazy
Yeah.
people. There's a
Crazy
lot of
people.
crazy people here who like to I don't know what it is. We got some weirdos in Arizona, so
Yeah.
they're, like, always in the desert doing weird things.
You guys got scorpions and stuff out there too, don't you? Like out in the
Yeah.
desert?
Yeah,
Yeah.
scorpions, centipedes, rattlesnake. You gotta be
Yeah,
careful of those.
I don't
Uh,
wanna mess with any of that.
yeah, mountain lions. Jaguars are popping up again. They're, like,
Oh,
repopulating. They're
wow.
almost extinct, so we've got someone, like, I guess, camera from, like, the park services, which is kinda cool. But now it's, like,
Yeah.
another to worry about. I was like, "Oh, gotta take my bear spray with me."
Yeah. We don't have to really worry about those things where we're at. It's pretty chill around here.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, there's a Arizona is definitely an interesting state when it comes to, like, wildlife and then all the other things that come with it,
Mhm.
skinwalkers, the UFO sightings,
Yeah. Uh,
people.
people. I think that's the scariest.
Yeah.
Now, I think isn't the Skinwalker Ranch out there too?
No, I think that's in Nevada or
Oh,
Utah.
yeah, that's right.
Utah.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, Utah. Thank God it's not here. We've watched some documentaries about that place
Mhm.
because I find it interesting, but that's why I was, like, kind of weirded out with, like, because I know in the documentary they talked about how some of the cows are killed and it
Mhm.
looks like there's no blood in them.
Mhm.
And that's why with, like, the rat thing, I was like, where's the blood?
Right.
So that was, like, my first, like, freak out sign of, like, oh, gross. Okay. This I'm not touching. One, I'm not touching them. Two, I have to get them out of here. Three, we got to put up more stuff we got to sage this house
Yeah.
and around it. I like I looked like a crazy person on my neighbor's camera probably. I was putting the sage out there, sprinkling salt in front of his patio. So hopefully he doesn't think I'm too crazy.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to protect yourself.
Yeah, I don't want that thing going over to him. I like my neighbors. They're really sweet people. So, yeah.
Very interesting. I had another question, but I forgot. I just forgot it. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was now.
That's okay. It happens. I forget everything. Oh my god. But I'm
Now,
glad. What was
does
that?
your dog react to anything unusual besides that one time? Is it like in
Um,
corners or anything like that?
he reacts to Amazon people, only Amazon people. I think he hates like the outfits they wear. He reacts to he's a big dog. We have a mastiff.
Hmm.
So, but he's never really reacted to like anything like that before. Um, he gets kind of freaked out. You can tell when like he senses something. Because like the back of his hair will go up on his spine. He like stances up. He's like a like really like ripped. He's like has a ton of muscle. So he'll like tense up, and I'm like, okay, something weird's about to happen. Either it's an animal, he senses something, or he doesn't like whoever's near us. Like I've had, we were walking one time, and it's like we got him from like the county shelter, so we had him for like I think like 2 weeks, and he's still like warming up, and this guy approached us, and his like the hair went up on him, and he started to snarl and growl at him, and I've never seen him do that. He's a very nice dog, and the guy like stepped back, but like other people have approached us, and he like wags his tail, so I feel like he's pretty good at reading people, and so I always trust his instinct too. So when he was coming up to me like up the stairs at night, and like he would kind of like hit the bed a little bit, or he'd like lick my arm to wake me up, and he would stare at me, and I'm like, "Do you need something? I'm asleep."
Yeah.
Uh, I he would like then just run downstairs really fast.
Hmm.
And I was like, "Okay, that's kinda weird." And then the gifts started happening, the stuff was getting knocked down. So I think he knew something was going on out there, and
Hmm.
he like, barked a few times. At night, if someone walks by, he might bark, but it's never like he's not like a barking dog at all. He's pretty quiet.
Yeah. Hmm. Maybe he's witnessing or like feeling like there's something outside, or maybe he's seen something outside whenever he was trying to get your attention.
Yeah, I don't know if he like because we have like blinds where our screen door is, so I'm not sure if he was looking through that or even he's really good hearing. So like anything he kind of hears, he like perks up,
Mhm.
especially outside because he's a really good guard dog for our apartment. I have no doubt that he would protect us if anyone tried to come in. So
That's good.
That's
he,
good.
yeah, he'll get pretty, aware of his surroundings quick if he hears something outside. But he's never like we've had like animals like dig in like our front like close to our front patio because it's like all dirt right there. But I've never heard him like do any like bark or like wake me up for any of that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe he definitely sensed something was out there.
Mhm.
So, but I trust his judgment.
Yeah. Yeah. Animals seem to have that heightened sensitivity to the paranormal.
Yeah.
I agree.
That your animal friend, see? Oh, that's funny.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't think I have any other questions or anything like that. Do you have anything, Luke?
No.
No? Yeah, this was cool. We really appreciate you coming on and telling us your experience encounter.
I was super excited. I was like, oh, finally someone's gonna listen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
Well, I don't want to like freak out my coworkers. They'll think I'm crazy because I don't know if they believe that stuff. I was like, I don't want them to be like, oh, oh, Caitlin's like the really weird one.
I'd rather be the really weird one, the more interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tell them about it, but they'll probably be like, "Oh, we cannot talk to her. She'll freak everyone out or something." I was like, yeah,
She's got them
We are the weird
skinwalkers.
ones. We are the
yeah,
weird ones that way.
yeah. I'll tell my mom loves to hear all of that stuff. She's like really into all of that,
Mhm.
especially like the Bigfoot, Skinwalker, all of that stuff.
Yeah. Um, and you said that she's seen the Phoenix Lights.
Yeah, her and her siblings. She's really into like the UFO stuff.
Yeah.
Like, she loves that. She'll watch documentaries. My mom's crazy like that. She loves that stuff. But that's like the best part because my mom's kind of cool like that. I was like, "Oh, cool." Like
Yeah.
like she can talk to anybody about all that stuff for hours. So we want to have her on. She'll gladly talk to you guys about it.
Yeah, yeah. If she's willing to come on, we'd love to have
Yeah,
a
I'll let her know.
conversation with her for sure.
Yeah, yeah, because she
Yeah.
likes all that stuff. She has the books. She has everything about it. She's definitely into all that type of stuff too. So yeah.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I have any more questions, and
No.
Okay.
I don't want to hold. We don't want to hold you up. We know you gotta get to work.
Sadly.
Yeah, we got to work today too, but we don't have to work for another like 5 hours, 6 hours, something
Oh,
like that.
that's kind of nice. Yeah. We go to work at 9:30, get off at 5:30, do it all over again for the rest of the week.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Mm.
But yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me on,
Yeah,
guys. This
thank
was
you.
fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad, I can tell what happened to other people and maybe you guys have more insight on that later or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and if you have any more experiences or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us. You're welcome on
Yeah.
anytime.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah, that'd be
Hopefully
great.
there's not too many in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All righty. Well, you have a great day and
Guys too.
do our best.
Okay, thanks guys. Bye.
Bye. That was really cool. I don't know, skinwalkers, man. Like that's the first skinwalker encounter that we've had on the show. Like your supposed skinwalker.
The creepiest thing is when she said she saw that skeleton-like creature, like walk
Yeah,
across
sitting
the
across
road.
the road. Yeah.
I drive away too. I wouldn't stick around.
I don't know. I'd probably stick around. I got other people in the car. I'm safe, as long as I can outrun them, we're good.
You should be able to.
I would be spotting for it, I don't know. But that's just me. If I seen something like that, I'd be trying to see more of it.
And in that moment, you're like, oh shit, what the hell is that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing though, we talk about what we would do or what we think we would do, but we really don't know until we're in the moment because it could be completely different. We might be scared out of our minds and we're like, I gotta get out of here. That fight or flight kicks in. I think it'd be more flight than fight. Thanks everybody for listening to another episode of Exploring the Unknown. We really enjoyed talking to Caitlin and listening to her encounters with what could possibly be a skinwalker. Out there in Arizona, they got a lot of crazy things going on out there in the desert. But yeah, this was really cool. Don't forget to check out our socials. We're on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify. You can hear our podcast on. Actually, I think just about any place that you can find podcasts, you'll find us. We post every Sunday, so don't forget to click that subscribe button and that little bell notification so that you can get notified whenever we post a new episode on YouTube. And yeah, man. Do you have anything that you want to add?
No, we can plug about we're going to the convention in September, the Bigfoot camping adventure.
Yep.
And we will be vendors there. We will have our equipment and we'll set up and talk to people about their encounters.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. I'm really excited for that. I'm
I am too.
I'm also kind of nervous about it because like we're gonna be like sitting there physically with the person, but like the more that we do these episodes and talk to people, the more confident that I feel sitting down and just having a conversation with somebody about this kind of stuff.
And shout out to Dustin's wife for making this awesome hat.
Yeah, got the logo on the hat. Yeah, she makes all different kinds of things, cups, hats. She can do scarves. She crochets. We'll post her Facebook in the description if you want to check that stuff out too. But before we hop off here, I kind of like doing these.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
you know what's coming. You know,
I know
it's coming. We got that would you rather. Okay, so here's the would you rather. Would you rather spend a night camping alone in a Skinwalker territory or explore a haunted ghost town associated with its lore?
I would like to say I would like to go spend like a night with a see Skinwalker, like a Skinwalker ranch or something like that, and see what happens.
Yeah. I feel like I'm confused by the question. I feel like it's two of the same thing. It's like, do you wanna meet it face to face, or do you wanna be
Just see
where?
the spirits.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I've never heard of Skinwalkers manipulating spirits. I thought that the Skinwalker was like it's its own thing.
I'd like to come face to face with a Skinwalker.
Good luck. I am
I say
not.
that now.
Yeah. Until you're nose to nose with it, and you're like, Dustin, what do I do? Oh yeah, I ain't even gonna be there. So you're gonna be on your own. I ain't face to face with it. I look at it from a distance.
So that's about all right.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks everybody for listening, and like and subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys have a great night.
See ya.
See you later.